All right, this morning's live stream is going to be a little different than in other days. The rain has impacted my workflow significantly since it showed up in our area Friday afternoon, Friday evening. So I pre-recorded a couple of videos. I'm going to release two of them this Saturday morning for you guys. I would love to have done a live stream, but I thought that, I thought it was going to be impossible for me to get done in terms of live reacting and speaking to you guys. So, my apologies for that. So what I decided to do was talk about two issues that I've noticed that I kind of have a little bit of a problem with. Number one is, there's multiple ways to look at the Rashad Bateman issue in terms of the number of catches he has. I really don't think it's an issue, I'll be honest with you. It's just a byproduct of the number of targets he's got and the type of targets he's got. Now, in my opinion, he does have, one bad fumble and then, possibly two drops against the Jets, but one of them is slightly high, and another one there's big contact by the safety after he catches the football. So, I'm not sure how much blame I lay at his feet, but he's making plays. 28, 29 yards a catch. I am not concerned. The type of explosiveness, you can see it. It's a different level of explosiveness than we saw last year. I mean, anyone who's a Ravens fan that watched the games last year and watched them this year, maybe even watched, some highlight stuff or some film study, stuff from content creators related to the Ravens, different level of explosiveness, completely different. Ran away from Xavier Howard. I mean, enough said. Has juked the crap out of two different DBs so far this year to get some yards after the catch. I mean, his juke and run against the Patriots, which I'll show you in a little bit, I thought was unbelievable. I don't know if any of these plays has been used by Baldy's Breakdowns to make a film study, but if it has, then the video will be demonetized. So if you ever consider supporting, the channel by becoming a channel member or even just a super chat, I don't go begging. At least I hope I don't. But, that's a constant fear. I had 5 of them get hit this past week, so I had to go back and trim them. That's my time and effort to try to keep the content, out there on YouTube available for people to watch as they wish if they don't watch it during the premiere, to keep the video up on YouTube so that you or anyone else can go back and watch it. I create playlists. You can go into the playlist. You can just watch it. Just trying to explain to you what it's like for a content creator when we're putting our time and effort in. And then just because Baldy does stuff for the NFL and he's a blue check guy, I guess, if he uses the same play, our entire video becomes demonetized. Not a copyright strike, but it's a constant issue and source of frustration for me. So speaking of frustration, I can understand why Rashod Bateman might be. And I'll show you, I think, one play later on. I think he is. And I'm glad. Because if you're a real, true athlete and competitor, you want to get the ball. If you're an offensive lineman, you want to block people. If you're a quarterback, you want to throw touchdowns. Do we need to do stuff like this more? Yeah, we do. Does Rashod Bateman need these things done to get open? No, he does not. It's a unique play for the Ravens to run, especially because Bateman is on the line of scrimmage, so you can see his right foot. He's on the line, and so he's going to have to veer backwards because I think it's Linderbaum gets pushed back just a little bit. And so he's got to veer backwards on this path. But it's the first play of the season, under center boot stuff. I love it. I would love to see us do it with Bateman more, with his speed and explosiveness. I think he's an asset no matter what we do with him. Short passes, long passes, intermediate stuff, which I'd like to see us hit a little more. I think the film of him that other teams are watching, they have respect for him, number one. Number two, part and parcel to that is he can beat you deep. So some of these intermediate routes will be available. This is not an intermediate route. People have been talking about his release. I mean, you can sit and talk about his release. They're very good, no doubt. But there's nothing for me to talk about when we're dropping balls. Now you're getting hit by a safety, and I'm a huge Rashod Bateman fan, and this video is designed to tell you there is nothing wrong. There is no issue. It's just a matter of opportunities. Similar to Devin Duvernay, comparing him from 2021 to this year. Devin Duvernay made plays last year with some of the opportunities he was given. Now, he didn't have the third down touchdown catches like he has this year. He has 3 of them. But point being, Rashod he's only got 14 or 15 targets through 3 games, I believe. One of them was an absolute overthrow, the one that people said he didn't hustle on. Would we love to see him catch this football and hang on? Absolutely. Do I think he's capable of doing that? Yes, I do. I don't think it was a fumble, by the way. He wants to be great. And I think he has the ability to be great. Matter of fact, I think he is already. He just needs more opportunity. Up at the top side again, typically lining up on our left. This is the one that I think is overthrown, and you can see there'll be 3 plays in this video that I'm showing you this morning where Rashod Bateman has a step or 2 on the defense. Now Lamar feels like he's got pressure in his face. So, and you guys know I'm a huge Lamar fan, so I'm not saying Lamar can't handle the pressure in his face. I mean, I think he's the best player in the National Football League. I do. But I'd like to see him throw this football. I'd like to see him take, one gather step on a 3/4 angle to his right and throw this football out here for Bateman to go get, because he's got a step. You guys can tell me what you think. I mean, as it stands, Lamar, and I'll show you the end zone angle. Lamar thinks he's got to move in the pocket a little bit. I mean, that's his judgment. He's the one, he's the man in the arena. He's the person on the field. So he understands what it feels like when they get this twist going, because that's what the Jets did. They ran this extreme pick on Linderbaum. I think they're trying to KO Linderbaum and knock him on the ground and then loop this guy around. This seemed to be more than just a typical pick. This seemed to be, I'm going to try to knock this kid down. And so Lamar thinks that the pressure is going to get to him. I disagree, but that's fine. That's his decision. Ball is severely overthrown in terms of distance. I mean, anybody who thinks that Rashad stopped running and could have got to that ball that's 7 yards in front of him, I'm not sure what to tell you. Ball's overthrown. Another incomplete from the Jets game. He's down here on the bottom side. This is a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. This one I think he should catch. I'm not initially a huge fan of this concept, but as I watch this play more, I kind of like it. You may disagree with me, and that's fine. The snag with this route from the other side, I saw that many times last year, and it was always Andrews on the other side, and it was almost always Bateman on the snag route. Now Bateman is not the X here though, or he's not the Z. He's off the line, so Bateman is running the snag. And then Andrews is running this kind of like lazy 3/4 speed, and then he just moves into the low hole area. Additional to that, Likely's going to run this kind of like China out or whip route. And it looks like you've got a lot of congestion, but I absolutely love it once I see Likely make his cut to the outside. Like right now, I'm not a fan of it. I don't know about you. It looks like there's Andrews running right at Bateman here. And then Likely is in the window. But what happens when Likely goes back to the sideline, he pulls his safety with him. And when Andrews goes up the middle of the hash, he holds this linebacker. And Bateman ends up being wide open late. Neat concept. Little bit of an evolution with the way we run that snag out of a tight, condensed formation. I'd like to see Bateman catch that football. It is thrown a little high. You can tell, by the manner, by the posture of his body trying to catch it. Watching it live, you didn't really get a idea that the throw was a little high. You can see Andrews is kind of coasting, and then he's going to take this up the middle of the field, carries Mosley with him. And, I mean, yes, I think he could catch this ball, but that ball is definitely high for the position that Bateman was in, which was pretty much wide open. Lamar has at least 1, if not 2, defensive tackles in his field of vision, so he may have felt like he had to throw it a little higher. So, be that as it may, incomplete pass. All right, not an incomplete pass. This time we got Bateman up at the top side. Knew something was up when you had Bateman on the other side, lined up off the line. We max protect it, so we only got 2 going out in the route, and then I think the running back slipping out into the flats late to the left, which is typical of the Ravens offense. And this safety overplays this horribly to the top side. And then Demarcus Robinson's route is also designed to possibly hold this safety for a moment. That safety gets out of there. Perfect play. Perfect throw, from Lamar. Great play call. Big bomb. We called him a home run hitter. And then we turn around against the Dolphins and we found out that he absolutely is a home run hitter. 17-yard catch. I have no idea why Miami's running this blitz. None. I have no idea why they're bringing this corner and dropping a guy out of here. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just nothing about it makes sense. Bateman does the right thing, adjusts his route. Lamar sees it because he's got great vision and awareness. We end up blocking him up, giving Lamar time. They're lucky this didn't go to the house. They're lucky they got a lot of young athletes who can pursue, because Bateman is just juking people. That's the thing this season that he's added, if you ask me. Now, he did have 2 jukes on one play very similar to that against the Chargers at home last year on an RPO where he runs a stop route down to the bottom side of the field, the left-hand side of the offense. So he has that in him, but he looks more explosive to me. He looks, he's got more jukes. Suddenness. If it wasn't for the pursuing guys, that's it. It's over. He's got that kind of speed this year. 9-yard pass. I love this play under center. Faking the wham by motioning Ricard in the way we had done the week before with Oliver. Faking like we're going to wham, trap the nose tackle or the D tackle. And then I love Bateman's route up top. He's fighting for the outside, and then I think this is by design for him to bring this back here. Because you would think at this point that he's just going to keep to the sideline. I think this is designed to bring this back to the quarterback. It's a really unique route, if you ask me. And I think he's got the DB on a string. I think that's Xavier Howard, who's trying to hold him twice. And I mean, it's a great route, if you ask me. Great ball by Lamar. Cool concept. I really like that one. Just like the one that was incomplete against the Jets, where there looked like there was some congestion, but I think it was designed for it to be like that. Another thing to notice is Lamar's looking to the offense's right, the left on our screen here at first, and then he's coming back to Bateman. That could be the design. You only have a 2-receiver route. Looked like Demarcus Robinson was running almost like a mirrored concept to the other side. Beautiful play. Duvernay in motion. Ricard is the only running back on the field. And I have some interest in seeing these alignments, to be honest with you. I have interest in seeing Likely and Andrews on with Ricard, and then Duve and Bateman. I'm very interested in that. Some of the motion stuff we do with Duve would serve as a run threat. Lamar possibly keeping it on the QB counter or the QB power read. Or in this case, Duve going in motion. Little play fake and check backside to Bateman. I mean, he beat Howard horribly on that. For to be only, 4 yards past the line of scrimmage? 5? There's already 2.5 yards of separation at 5 yards. I think that's significant. Do you? Let me know what you think. I'm trying to tell you that I'm not concerned about Bateman at all. I mean, this video is not sped up, by the way. But damn if it doesn't look like it's sped up. Like, I'm not using an editing program where I can speed it up. But it certainly looks like it to me. Like somebody said, I can't remember who it was. They said Bateman apparently has the speed to erase angles. Because if you look at this, right about here, I mean, you kind of think that Howard's going to, I don't want to say catch him, but you kind of think that Howard's got the angle to close this off around about like the 4-yard line. But Bateman finishes it off. I did not know he had that kind of speed last year. Sticks blitz 0. I just don't think this is the way to attack this coverage. I never will. If you look at what the Bills did in week 3, or week 2, I guess, week 3, against the Dolphins, they attacked deep, middle of the field. They attacked deep along the sidelines. I just don't think this is the way to beat this coverage. Now, one time, Stephon Diggs did kind of run this like pseudo or half, China in, make it look like he was going out and then bring it back in here, and the safety jumped it like this. Diggs ended up wide open. I just don't think this is the way to attack this. These DBs are sitting here leverage-wise, waiting for it. Now, in terms of the 3-by-1, I think it's the way to go. But I just don't think the way to attack it is short. I think we should be running it out and up. I think we should be running a deep sideline comeback, something like that. I think we should be running a stutter go. Beat them deep. They're giving us the space. Take advantage of it. Now, Bateman, as it is, you would think, oh, he can juke someone and make it miss. But again, all these eyes are on Lamar. That's the part that I don't think is taken into consideration with the beauty of this coverage of what they're doing. All the eyes are on Lamar. So as soon as Lamar pulls the pin on the grenade, now, they're breaking. Look, this guy's not going with the motion guy now. He's breaking. They're breaking. There's a ton of pursuit. Look at all the pursuit there is. Even if you break one tackle, someone's going to be there. I just don't think the return on the investment is that large for those short routes. And well, you saw later on in the game, Xavier Howard almost picked a short one off. I would not want to risk a pick six for the potential of a 7, 8, 9 yard gain. Hopefully that makes sense. Incomplete pass to Bateman up top here, I believe. And I think he catches this. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I know it doesn't look like it here. It didn't look like it live. When you saw the replay, I thought he caught it, and Bateman, looked up at the screen and said he thought he did too. Maybe this camera angle doesn't present a good option there. I think the throw is low. I think the throw is low almost by design, though, to be honest with you. I think Lamar is seeing the DB start to drive. Now, the ball's already out of Lamar's hands, all right? But I think he sees the DB get ready to drive, and so he throws this low intentionally so it can end up, up here and the DB possibly pick it off or make a play on it. You guys let me know what you think. I think Bateman caught the football, though. He did have a drop last year in in the Chargers game, his first game with the team as a rookie. And he did have another drop in another game. I can't remember which one it was that I thought was pretty bad. I don't think he's a guy who has bad hands, though, at all. I know right now it's only a 50% catch rate in terms of his targets. I think that'll change. He's too good, too talented for it not to. So another sticks blitz zero. This is what I'm talking about. I just don't think the return on this is worth it. It's not worth the risk. These guys it's almost like our coaches don't know that they're reading the quarterback. And as soon as Lamar's face mask looks here, they're putting their foot in the ground and they're breaking now. Their technique is a little bit better. It's still horrible technique. It's no technique. There's no back pedal. Look, this is a flat foot read with no help over the top. Why isn't anyone saying, hey, they don't have any help over the top? Yeah, they're lined up at 10 yards, but there's no pedal. There's no technique at all. Pump fake and go. And Rashod Bateman is going to beat him. I'm sorry, Xavier Howard's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But the coverages that the Dolphins are playing, the coverages they played against him, Rashod Bateman would have beat him for 2 or 3 touchdowns if we attacked him in the right places. I mean, that may be an unpopular opinion. You may not like that. You may disagree with it. I'm pretty much showing you all Bateman targets. I actually really like this. If Bateman's squeezing this in here, now this guy's got some awareness. I know the resolution is bad, but it's still all 22, so they want to see all 22 players. This guy's not squeezing in. He's not impatient. He's sitting, and then Bateman is designed to bring this back out here. I think Bateman's got an argument, to be honest with you. The video resolution is bad, but I think you've got contact right here that is way before the ball gets there. Are they going to call that? I don't know who the first referee is that's going to call it. I guess it'll be the first one with some integrity, because to me, that was clearly a grab before the ball. It looked like to me the ball was on, in a vertical line about with like the 15, and he's being held. It doesn't look as bad from there though. But I don't know what the video could have caught. If the screen was zoomed out a little bit before I picked it up. All right, against the Patriots, Bateman's here. Now, vertically, you may say, well, we don't have to throw this ball. It's 3rd and 5. The thing that I like is as this route gets to, let's say checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, I don't know that he's open at all on checkpoint 1. Checkpoint 2, maybe a little bit. By the time we get to checkpoint 3, he's open. That's burst and speed. You guys can tell me if you see it the same way. I don't think he looks open. Well, a little bit. By the time the ball gets there, though, there is clearly separation. And that ball was, within probably 3 inches of being perfectly thrown. I would say that's exactly where Lamar wanted to put it, for real. And Bateman probably catches that ball 50% of the time, if you ask me, based on where that ball is placed right there. I love it. 3rd and 5. We know we have Justin Tucker. Go ahead and take a shot. Rely on Justin Tucker to do his job. I think it's great. But Bateman won that route in terms of making himself open and available. You could be really harsh, I guess, if you want, and you could say, Coach, that's a drop. I guess you could say that if you want. I don't think it's an easy catch by any means. Rashod Bateman wants to be great, though, so he would probably blame himself and say, hey, I got to catch that football. But I like that we're using him to attack downfield. think we got Bateman down here. 24-yard gain. 24, 25-yard gain. And then fumble. Yeah, this is a great play by Lamar. An incredible play. You can't, it won't be on any of his highlight reels because it's a fumble and a turnover. But we're supposed to get Bateman going across here. You got some cross motion here, so there's a lot of options. And Lamar scrambles and finds Bateman. Beautiful throw. And then a great play by a recovering DB to force the fumble. So, it is what it is. We got one drop clearly against the Jets when a safety hits him. You got another one there. So if you want to judge him harshly and say that, right now he's not catching balls that he should, go right ahead if you wish. I think he's made some dangerous freaking plays. This being one of them. That was sick. That was a 2nd and 10. I believe the fourth quarter. And this does not look like the type of move that is going to happen. That route right there, I think, is available to us a lot. When he pushes out of here vertically and he gets this DB to turn and face the other end zone, we got him. It's over. And look at the stopping. To me, right about the 35, 36, he's still running full speed. Hopefully this is running well for you guys. If it's not, when I'm slowing this up, let me know. But 35, 36, I think he's still at full speed. Gears down somewhere around a 37. Boom. Puts that left foot in the ground on the 42. That's pretty good if you ask me for being full speed. We'll let it run multiple times without me slow-moing it and ruining it for y'all. All right, there we go. Trying to find a spot on the timeline. I think that's pretty good feet right there. And then this part is sick, man. This does not look like the type of thing that's supposed to happen. If somebody wants to bring it back across here and get some extra yards, fine. But that little short juke, did you think he had that? And he does. That's the third time he's done it this year. Catches the ball, makes the juke at the 43. Look at the burst. Guys, he ended up at the other 39. Is that as impressive to you as it is to me? I just feel like that looks like the type of burst that's on a video game, and you're like, man, if you're playing a video game, you're like, he's not that fast. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. 35-yard gain, 36-yard gain, something like that. I think this route is available to us, and I think Lamar's got to throw it more. I'm not saying that he, chooses not to throw it to Bateman, but it's got to be more of a priority. That's Jones, I believe, the DB. He's not a bad football player. Rashod Bateman just turned into Tavon Austin for a minute. Tavon Austin at West Virginia, that is. All right, a couple of routes here at the end. And I think Bateman's frustrated on one of them. I believe this is Bateman down here. And I believe he's going to beat this DB quite badly. But we throw it to Andrews instead. That's a touchdown. If it's not a touchdown, it's a 40-yard gain. And watch, look, you can say what you want, and I sometimes say things about people with their body language. I don't have a problem with Bateman being pissed off. Normally, you'd see a teammate give 5 or dap up his teammate that just made a big catch. Bateman's pissed. Why shouldn't he be? Wouldn't you be pissed? It is over. It's over. Now, granted, Lamar's face mask appears to be reading here. So that's one of the things when you talk about, like, oh, the quarterback doesn't see him. Well, he has a helmet on, and he has a face mask on. That face mask is held in place by bars that are on the side. So he can't possibly be looking at Andrews and see Bateman wide open. Now, having said that, that's when your coaches have to say in the headset the next play, hey, Bate was open. If we get the same coverage, got to take advantage of it. I think teams playing man against us all year are going to get punished. And the main guy who's going to punish them is going to be that guy right there. Because this is the third time I've seen this. You remember the play where I talked about checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, and it seemed like he was more open as we got further along in that progression? This one, he's open immediately. As soon as he makes his cut to the outside, he's open now. This ball could be thrown here. This ball could be thrown down here. It's wherever Lamar wants to throw it. He just has already seen Andrews determine that he's open and didn't check Bateman at all. Not saying Lamar doesn't have great vision. Like that's the type of analysis you get from like people who've never been involved with the game. That's not how it works. You can't see the entire field. Football field is too wide for that to be the case. He's definitely looking over here now. Tracking Andrews the whole time. Now, there is a little bit of a moment here where I wonder where he was looking. We'll pull it back and let you see it a couple times. I mean, there's nothing else over there for him to look at and see other than Bateman. And damn, I wish he went up top right there. In our Discord, I say it all the time. I'm like, we've got to go up top. We've got to go up top. Going up top, even if you don't get it, there's multiple things that happen. You could get a defensive pass interference. You could get, just threaten the defense vertically and make them have to adjust their coverages, loosen up some things. And in my opinion, Bateman's the guy to do it. Another incomplete. I think this is Andrews. Yeah, it's not as clear-cut as the last one. But the burst that's here, man, and this is the only safety that I see, unless there's one dressed in green and I'm not seeing between the 50 and the numbers. Watch the burst. I'll run this back numerous times is what I'll do. He's leaving that guy. Now, he gears down about right now because he sees that the ball was thrown to Andrews. I think he should be frustrated. And I hope that the coaches have addressed it. They don't have to address it with Lamar. They got to address it with themselves. Hey, we've got to take more shots. I think we do, man. I think we do. Especially once we get around midfield or so, we need to take more shots with Bateman. Or, the one that I really love is, let's see if it's available here. Snap this thing back, boom. The same way he did on that other route, to the other side to the same side of the field, but going right to left. I'm a huge fan of Bateman. I'm not concerned at all about the having 8 catches through 3 games. Like, there's a lot of people who do analysis like that, and they just look at numbers. I try to show you the film. I showed you pretty much every target or every play where I thought he should have been targeted, including 2 or 3 where he was open, in my opinion. Maybe this last one is the one that's the weakest case for him to be open, but still, that ball is thrown up the numbers. That safety who's in between the hashes can't get there. Bateman has an opportunity for a big play. I wish we would give him more of those opportunities. Now, the 2 big plays that he's hit this year, let's talk about them for a second. First one's a design play, where the Jets field side safety misplays it, overlaps Gardner. So you could say, well, Coach, he didn't win a one-on-one deep there. Okay. The second big play against Xavier Howard, it's a slant with a great release, clearly. So he didn't win a one-on-one deep there either. So maybe we don't have confidence in him. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all. We went to him on that 3rd and 5 against New England, right? Incomplete, off his fingertips. Tucker kicks the 56-yarder the next play. We had that design play against the Jets that was designed for Bateman. So I think the coaching staff, I think Lamar have confidence in him. We've just got to be willing to take more shots. Should it be 4 per game? Well, probably not 4. Should it be 2 per game? Yeah, it should. Yeah. With the burst that he's showing, you tell me, intermediate routes that threaten as a vertical first, and then he snaps the route down towards the sideline or brings it back with those great feet that he has, and Lamar completes it for a 20, 22-yard gain, or we catch it at 20 yards. I'm fine with that too. People play these modded coverages sometimes where, they'll allow the receiver to get by them because they have safety help over the top, and then if you throw that deep comeback at 18, 20, 22 yards, then the corner can sit there and kind of make a play on it or maybe even pick it off. I haven't seen those modded coverages yet. And they're usually unique cases anyway. That's why you hardly ever hear people talk about them. I'm seeing us get more man played against us than I remember in previous years. And in my opinion, we're exploiting the hell out of it, and we need to do it more. And I'll say something that's an unpopular opinion. I think Mark Andrews does not need 120 targets this year. Maybe the number is 120, but he doesn't need more. Our other guys need more targets. Just like Lamar needs less usage rate, a lower usage rate There's a better phrase, right? A lower usage rate. Mark Andrews, same thing. I don't think we should be targeting Andrews 12, 14, 15 times in a game and Bateman only 3 or whatever the numbers are. Hopefully that makes sense. Not saying that I don't want Andrews to get his numbers, not saying he's not an amazing player. He's a monster. But we have another monster there in Bateman that's being a little bit underutilized right now. And we're going to need him. Well, we're going to need him in games like the 2 that are coming up, the Bills and Bengals. We're going to need him to make plays, 6 catches, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. Or maybe 8 catches, 110, and 1 touchdown. We're going to need some games like that. He can't do it on 5 targets. You can't do it. Maybe 7 targets he can. But, that's my opinion. That's the information I wanted to present to you. My first video Saturday morning, different than a normal live stream. So my apologies, but with the weather impacting my family's schedule for the day, among other things, I had to kind of pre-record this, push this out. Appreciate you guys checking it out. If you'd like to support the channel, you can join Patreon and get in the Discord. It's a secure Ravens community. People can't come in there and troll. It's just all Ravens talk. That's very mature and professional most of the time. That's one way you can support. If you don't want to support that, you can join through the YouTube membership program, $2 a month, $5 a month, get access to the same Discord, members-only posts, members-only videos, etc. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video on your way out.